a few hours from now, 41 construction workers stuck in a tunnel could be rescued. But there's the big picture. India has no option but to build tunnels in the Himalayas. These are necessary to improve connectivity to our far-flung border regions, and also the need to improve our military mobility to these parts to make sure the Indian military reaches these contested parts of the boundary. The National Highways Authority of India has ordered a safety audit of 29 such tunnel projects in the Himalayas. These projects have a total length of 79 kilometers. Colonel Singh, break it down for us. What will such a safety audit of these tunnels basically look at?
So, I see it that in this tunnel business, like you said, tunnel is required.
Yes.
You can't do away with it, because if the growth is happening, if the GDP is growing at the pace you want, and you want the borders to be protected,
right,
movement has to take place.
Yes.
And movement across these mountains, there's no way. Initially we had just on the surface roads,
right,
but they are not throughout. It's not a. It's a seasonal road, because
right,
throughout the year you can't transport. So tunnel is a necessity. You can't do away with it. So you have to use tunnels in the modern times for connectivity and this. Now these accidents are happening because everywhere we cut corners.
Yeah.
We try to cut costs, cut corners.
Right.
So there's a SOP for everything.
And there's
in
also
every
the
department.
speed. There is a lot of pressure on
yes, you can call it
too.
speed, but I'll say more not speed. Cost cutting is one of the important, because if you have to survey, there's so many safety things you have to do before. Now that will increase the cost, and that we want to avoid. So when we have a safety audit, definitely I think it will help in a major way. It will increase the cost. That is one negative
it will
aspect.
increase the cost because the safety aspect will now have to be built into all these tunnels.
Yes, so we know, because a geological survey has to be done very well. So now geological survey is done at a face wash, just a little bit, theek hai, kar diya humne, and don't follow it. What has happened in this tunnels now? If you understand, the strata is not one compact rock or thing. There are various categories. There will be some soft rock, there will be some hard rock, then there will be some slurry rock. So moment you are boring and you don't have to, you have not studied it. So moment you bore in, now the slurry is creating all the chaos. Because it's not letting the auger machine move forward. Moment is the top is coming.
And all this
collapsing.
is a result of the Himalayas being actually very young fold mountains.
Okay, let me see. I've got a piece of paper. See, suppose this is like this.
Okay.
So what we do is, what is the folding mountains is? They were first straight like this. So pressure tectonic plate happened, and then they kept moving, and this is how the fold kept happening, and it kept rising. So if you see the surface, this is a very soft surface. Comparatively, the lower portion.
If you could.
So this is the top will be the soft surface, and the lower portion is compact. But the tunnels are on the top surface.
Okay.
So
the
here,
parts which are really soft.
Yes, they are soft. Soft here, because see, this is how the pressure is building up. This is compacting, and that's how the mountain is growing.
Kind of
it's also growing, is pushing on top is like that. So these soft surface they have no choice. But the tunnels have to go through this unless you're going very deep. Again, that's a cost and so thing. So in this soft surface, we have, this is not compacted. There'll be, like I said, there'll be slurry rock, there'll be hard rock, there'll be wet vegetation, not very wet earth type.
Because of the rain and snow.
Yes, rain and snow. Not only rain and snow.
Yeah.
See, so much of we are using this place for storage of water for this hydro projects and all.
Yes.
So suddenly you use this whole area for accumulation of water. There will be water seeping in.
Yeah.
So you have touched the natural habitat of that area. So much of water which is happening, it is going somewhere. After some time it will stagnate. But so this is affecting the geology of this area, and that is why it is creating the problem. If it was one straight thing, just one bore, and it would be through.
So that would be a feature that you would use in a mature mountain range like the Andes or something, which is
so if you go to old mountains, there is no such problems. There will be less accident and it will go through. But young mountains, we always will have this problem, and that is why when you said audit report is very important, because you have to study the nature of these young mountains and then take safety precautions. Okay, this is how we'll progress in this type of soil and blah blah blah.
But dialing back from this, moving back a bit from the actual rescue itself, what is the big lesson from this incident? I mean, fortunately, there's been no loss of life, but what would be the big lessons for India from this operation?
So, one is that audit. See, this is a beautiful photograph where it is there. And this is where the problems, they are in between holding areas, where these workers were rested for some time, and there must be proper water, food, air, they'll be inside that. But they don't have access to outside. That has got choked, because there has been a collapse of that tunnel.
A rock slide,
That rock slide. And now they're trying to build in they're throwing a pipe through which they can access those people. So here, it is not only the physical not reaching, but psychological of the human mind. For 10 to 11 days, they are inside this tunnel. Just imagine those human beings. They don't know what is happening. It's like death in front of them.
Absolutely, a lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure. Mental pressure
is there a need for a specific tunnel rescue agency or some kind of capabilities which we don't clearly have, going by the time it's taken?
I cannot comment on that, but there will be definitely, when these SOPs are made, there is always an exit policy. If there's an accident, what is to be done, and what is the chain behind, how like they said that ambulance is ready, so many things, hospitals are ready and all that. So there is always these SOPs enumerate every steps to be taken during a crisis which happens like that. So I will not say a rescue team, but experienced, like they have got experienced people who are in tunnel technology, they are brought in to do this type of this. See how the technology also has changed. Auger machine is basically a screw machine that started first. Then we had the NATM, new Austrian tunnel boring machine. Now they have the SBM. But now these are very high end, they can't be used in this area. They can be used, but for rescue they can't be used. So if you are saying, should there be a rescue? Yes, that should be given a thought, and in quick time frame, can we move some equipment or something to rescue these workers, because SBMs can't be moved. But auger machines of various types, like they have got some American auger machines which are being used for
those
rescue.
Can be moved. Is this tunnel, can this tunnel ever be used again once this the
Yes, definitely. See, first, before the tunnel anything starts, they have a survey in which they have an alignment. We'll follow this alignment. Unfortunately, in that alignment, you had this, that plate was not good for tunneling. So now once you have identified that there is a problem, we have done tunnels underwater. China has done tunnel underwater. So once you've identified, then there is no issue. Only thing is that imponderable which you have not thought of, that has come. That has created all the chaos. If we had done a proper survey and everything was taken care of, then I don't think an issue would. Any accident happens because we have not catered for it. If a house is designed, they'll have fire hydrants and everything. But normally these fire hydrants are not checked. So there's a fire and then there's a problem. So what I'm saying, these have to be put in place, and this will definitely make us think and put rescue operations in.
In fact, I was just reading this report by the MDPI, which says that most of the problems, this is a 2022 survey of prominent excavation projects in the Himalayan mountain ranges, which says that there was, the problems associated with tunneling were poor geology, such as shear zones, faults, folds, and fatal rock bursts were common, and this seems to suggest the kind of problems that you were talking of, the young fold mountain problems.
Those shear folds and all. Now, if you are identified that we come in the shear fold region, then we'll take necessary action. This is a fold. But if you have not, you're taking just a rocky area. Chalo, let's start. And that's how the problem is. There are some places which are active slides. If you go to northeast, there are some places active, always there. So they have dozers placed on site. If hoga, then take action. So then we have catered for it, because now we know about it. But if you don't know about it, then if you not catered, the road will get washed away. It will take a week, 10 days for the road to but once you know this is an active place, we have placed necessary resources at that place. So that's what I'm trying to say. If you do the correct work and study is correct, then you take precautions for that.
And I was reading this editorial by General Atta Hasnain of the NDMA, where he spoke about the convergence of capabilities of the Indian state. And it's very interesting that the operation is being overseen by the PMO, and you have the NDMA, the NDRF, and L&T, and even the Delhi Metro. They're all there. Anyone with any kind of particular expertise, and in fact the Air Force and the railways have also chipped in. Is this a very uniquely Indian problem?
Yes.
Silos, we have capabilities in different silos.
No, this is a beautiful point you have brought out. Here in a situation, a crisis situation like this, then we organize ourselves.
And India kind of comes together.
Yes, we come together because we have the capability, but bringing all that capability at one go. You just see any function. You're just trying to compare with a function. Let's say there's a Prime Minister coming here. So there will be so many VIPs coming. just one aspect that he has to go out and sit in his car.
Yeah.
There will be so many cars jammed up, then somebody has to coordinate which
Right.
car will come first, which car
Right,
will come
right,
second,
right.
which will come. So that coordination is very important.
Right.
So not only you have all the facilities to host a Prime Minister, but if that coordination is not there, there will be havoc. People
Right.
will not be able to move out, and if it is coordinated, in just half an hour, everybody will move out and
It's
smoothly.
also-
So this is exactly, you have the technology,
Yeah.
but these crisis situations teach us to bring everybody, amalgamate into one force,
Right.
and to address the issue, whatever it is coming.
Right. In fact, News9's Nivriti Mohan is on location at Uttarkashi. She's filed this report from there. Let's take a look.
Between the challenges faced by the rescuers to rescue workers from inside the Silk Yara tunnel, where they have been trapped for so many days now, the concerns are being raised regarding infrastructural development in the Himalayan region. Concerns have been regularly raised by the environmentalists, the activists regarding big projects being built in the Himalayan region. Actually, Himalayas are very young mountains. They are fragile, they are prone to earthquakes, landslides and land subsidence. There are regular collisions happening between Indian tectonic plates and Eurasian tectonic plates here. Due to these collisions, the Himalayan region is still growing. Collisions keep happening and the region keeps growing, which makes it very fragile. This particular area falls in the main thrust of the lesser Himalayan region and is very sensitive and prone to these kind of accidents if proper care is not taken. But you can see that this is it is very important for the land to be surveyed once these kind of projects are being constructed. Before we start construction on such big projects, it is important that land survey is done and the land is studied and rocks are studied, if the rock is strong enough to hold these kind of projects or not, or the rocks are fragile. All these tests should be done. So these kind of surveys were conducted while constructing this tunnel. But earlier also in Joshimath we saw the incidents of land subsidence happening and the entire town was in danger. It is rather in danger. There also environmentalists had raised concerns about the projects that are happening in and around that area, that sensitivity of the Himalayan region was not considered, was the blame that was being put by the environmentalists on the government. But if we talk about this project, this is part of the Char Dham project. Here the roads are being widened, trees are being felled, and then you can see these kind of tunnels are also being constructed. So environmentalists are of the view that the sensitivities of the Himalayan region is not being considered, and of course these kind of projects are important as far as religious importance of the project is concerned and also the strategic importance of the project is concerned, but it is also important to consider the sensitivities of the Himalayan region before building such big projects in these sensitive areas.
News9 Plus. Download now.